So Hare Krishna everyone. Yeah. I hope you can see the slide.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So now let us start with the class. So these Bhagavad Gita teachings which are learning are based on the teachings given by His Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we just heard the kirtan from it's Prabhupada's audio. Our means it is recording of his Hare Krishna kirtan. We see that he and his disciples are singing in a very melodious and a soothing way, which are very pleasing to our ears, and not only to us as devotees, but even to Lord Krishna. So, just right now we heard the kirtan sung by Srila Prabhupada, and he is the founder Acharya of this organization, ISKCON, that is International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So his commentary is based on these Acharya, Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, Sri Sridhar Swami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and Shripad Ramanujacharya. So see, this is not important to know, Guru family, but if you have a good idea about it, then you can, understand the various characters of Bhagavad Gita, where they are, mentioning about Arjuna, Bhima, Yudhishthira. Many people, they are not well aware with Mahabharata before learning the Bhagavad Gita. So this Kuru family can give you this family chart can give a good idea about, which character belongs to which dynasty, and how is that character related to some other person. So you will be able to understand in that. It's not important to learn, but if you know about it, then it will be easier to understand things forward in Bhagavad Gita. So these are here we talk about the war between Pandavas and Kauravas. So this chapter is known as this chapter is known as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Now, what does this mean? Arjuna means Arjuna himself. It is his name. Vishada means lamentation and yoga. So, the chapter in which we see the lamentation of Arjuna is called is the first chapter, and also this chapter in Bhagavad Gita as it has been given observing the battlefield. So now, in this we'll also see the different point of views of Dhritarashtra, then his son Duryodhana and Arjuna, how they observe and look at the battlefield, and what feelings do they experience while observing the battlefield. So there are total 700 shlokas in Bhagavad Gita and 18 chapters. So first 6 chapters are Karma Yoga, related to Karma Yoga. They are not Karma Yoga, but they are related to Karma Yoga. 7 to 12 chapters explain about Bhakti Yoga, and 13 to 18 chapters explain about Jnana Yoga. So these are the division of verses. Not important to know as such, but you can still try to remember. Lord Krishna has spoken 574 verses. Arjuna has spoken 84 verses. Sanjay has spoken 41 verses. And Dhritarashtra has spoken only one verse. That is the first verse of Bhagavad Gita. So let us now start with the chapter. So see, again, as I told you, this chapter is called Observing the Battlefield. So how different reactions are given by Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, and Arjuna to the same scene of battle. Now, this is the first shloka of the first chapter, meaning the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samavetayu mamakav pandava shaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. Who would like to read the translation? Anybody?
Mataji, can I?
Yes.
O Sanjaya, after assembling in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, what did my sons and sons of Pandu do, being desirous to fight?
So here they are explaining about how Dhritarashtra was, he was discriminating between his sons and the sons of Pandu. So it is not right from the part of Dhritarashtra, Now this is also important. Who is Sanjaya? Sanjaya is the student of Vyasa, and by the mercy of Veda Vyas, we can see that he is able to envision the entire battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Kurukshetra is called Dharma Kshetra because there are various rituals performed. And on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, we see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, was present on the side of Pandavas, and Duryodhana and his Kaurava side were about to be wiped out, like how unwanted plants, like weeds and all, they are wiped out from the, they are cut from the field. So similarly, in this field of Kurukshetra, the the irreligious people and the side of Kauravas were about to be vanished. So, reasons for Dhritarashtra's inquiry: he was very doubtful about his sons and did not want to compromise between his uh, between his cousins, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons. So this is the same analogy as I told you. So now this is the third shloka. Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamun Vyudhyam Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. That, oh my, Duryodhana is now addressing Drupada, and this shloka is said by Sanjaya. Okay. So, O my teacher, behold the great army of sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your own disciple, the son of Drupada. Now, why is he pointing the son of Drupada? Because see, actually, the background story is that Drupada and Dronacharya have, some kind of enmity towards, each other. And Drupada had performed a sacrifice from which he got Drishtadyumna, who is the son of Drupada. And he did that, yagna, so that he can get a son who can kill Dronacharya. But when Drishtadyumna wanted, some wanted to have some education, so he approached Dronacharya only. So we see that here they say that here he's saying that your student, your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. So that is how he's diplomatically pointing at the son of Drupada, so that he doesn't show any leniency while fighting with the Pandavas. So these are the great warriors described by Duryodhana. Just not as such as much important to know. You can just go through it. So now this is about Bhishma's blowing the conch shell. That by what does this conch shell signify? That Bhishma blew his conch shell to cheer Duryodhana, but it actually signifies that there would be no victory to Kauravas, since Supreme Personality of God, Lord Krishna himself, is present on Pandavas. So now this is the various blowing of conch shells. This part is very important to know about the various names of the conch shells. So here we see Panchajanyam Rishikesha. That Panchajanya is the conch shell of Rishikesha. Rishikesha is just another name for Krishna, which means that master of all the senses. Devadattam Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is also another name for Arjuna, the one who has conquered over, wealth and sleep. It's called Dhananjaya. It is another name for Arjuna, and his conch shell is Devadatta. Then Bhima's conch shell is Pondra. Yudhishthira's conch shell is Ananta Vijaya. Nakula's conch shell is Sughosha, and Sahadev's conch shell is Manipushpaka. So it is rather, easier if you by heart, if you learn the shloka, then you'll be easily able to, remember all this. Panchajanyam Rishikesha, Devadattam Dhananjaya, Poundram Dadma Mahashankha, Bhima Karma Vrikodara. Then the next shloka is Ananta Vijayam Raja, Kunti Putro Yudhishthira, Nakula Sahadevascha, Shughosha Panni Pushpaka. That Nakula and Sahadeva blew the conch shell, Sughosha and Mani Pushpaka. Now, what was the effect of this blowing of conch shells? Was that it created, it shattered the hearts of the Kauravas. Now, this is also very important to like they might give you, you don't need to by heart all of them, but you need to know that these all are reasons. They might ask you that which of the following is the reason for signs of Pandava's victory or signs for Pandava's victory. So you can just know about it. So see here, there are given as 9 signs which are divine chariot given by Agni Deva. This also, so they might ask, who gave the divine chariot to Arjuna? So that is Agni Deva. Dharma Kshetra, because it's the field of Dharma. So always the religious people will prevail over that. Then Kapidhwaja, this is the flag in which we can see that Hanuman is there. It also signifies victory. Shankhadada, the various blowing of conch shells, where we saw, how it shattered the hearts of Dhritarashtra. Then Gandiva, the bow of Arjuna, which was, or Pashupatastra, which was given by Lord Shiva. Tyakta Jivita. In that one particular verse, Duryodhana says that there are people who are ready to give up their lives for me. Then 7th one is Mokshada Ekadashi. So the day of Mokshada Ekadashi, we see the Bhagavad Gita was told. So we see the starting of this war was from Mokshada Ekadashi. So this also gives a sign of victory. Then Bhagya Lakshmi, because Lord Krishna is present, so his wife, goddess of fortune, will be surely present on the side of Pandava. So Bhagya Lakshmi, that is fortune, was also present on their side. And Rishikesha, that is Supreme Lord himself, was present on the side of Pandavas. Now here we see that. So here we see that Arjuna is now requesting Krishna to place a chariot between the two armies. Then all these things we can go through. Then he says that how can he fight against his own relatives, his grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, and all of them are present on the other side. These are various symptoms of stress. You don't need to know as such, but if you can still know it, it's fine. It's just for extra information. Now Arjuna says that he doesn't see any good that can come from killing his own kinsmen in the battlefield. Then here he talks about that what is the what happiness can we get by killing our own relatives and all. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Then sin will overcome us if we slay such people. If you kill them, you will get sin. But actually, in one of the Upanishads, there are 6 types of aggressors, which if you kill them, then you don't receive any kind of sin. A poison giver, an arsonist, a one who attacks with deadly weapons, a thief, one who occupies another land, and the one who kidnaps another's wife. So we see Duryodhana and his party has done all of these things, so they should be bound to be killed. And you don't receive any sin by killing them. But Arjuna is saying that why do we get sin? Why should we incur sin by just killing them? Then the family traditions will be destroyed. This is all about how degradation of women and then unwanted children will be produced, which will further destroy the religious principles of the dynasty. Stoppage of community welfare activities and all. Now he's very confused. He's indecisive that should we be conquered by them or should we conquer them? Should we conquer them or conquered by them? Now this is the most important thing. That these are the 5 reasons why Arjuna did not want to fight: compassion, no enjoyment, sin, family traditions, and indecision. These are the 5, reasons not to fight. So you must remember it. And with this, we will come to the end of the chapter 1. Now let us start with the second chapter. Let me open the slide and then I'll share the screen. Now this is the second chapter, which is Sankhya Yoga. It's like, see, it is like an index of Bhagavad Gita, which will explain all the topics which are explained in Bhagavad Gita in short, so that and then we see Krishna will further explain about them in detail in the other chapters. So it's like an index page of Bhagavad Gita. Then these are the 5 subject matters in Bhagavad Gita: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. So these also is important to remember. Now let us see what we have to discuss in this chapter. These are the 3 stages of God realization: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Brahman is the form of God, which is like impersonal form. That is, people believe that it's just some kind of light. Paramatma is the super soul present in our heart, and Bhagavan is the Supreme Lord Himself. He's a personality, he's a person. When he comes in his Shyam Sundar form, that is the form of Bhagavan. That is his form as a person. And why is he called Bhagavan? Because he has all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. You can see these various images can, depict all those qualities. And we see now in the 7th sloka, Arjuna finally surrenders unto Lord Krishna and he inquires about he finally surrenders to Lord Krishna and asks for solution. Now this is the first learning of Bhagavad Gita, that we are not this body, we are spirit souls or Jivatma. Soul is situated in our heart, and what is the food for soul is chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Now what is the size of the living entity? 1/10,000 of the part of the tip of a hair. This is mentioned in Kathopanishad as well. So that is how we see that it's so minutely small, the size of the soul. This talks about that, just like how we pass through different stages of our body, like from boyhood to youth to old age. So similarly, from childhood we become then we come to our youth age, and then we finally come to old age. These various stages of our body. So similarly, soul passes from one body to another body after they give up the body, and a sane person or a self-realized soul should not be bewildered by such a change. So soul takes another body at the time of death, and there are 84 lakh species in this entire 84 lakh species of life, and you might have to pass through all of them. Therefore, and among them, the form of human life is the most important, because that is when you can know about all this knowledge and you can go back home, back to God. And these are various, there is a proof about this reincarnation. The story of Shanti Devi, where he convinced Mahatma Gandhi of a reincarnation, remembering her past life. Now this shloka says that non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress are just like how seasons come and appear. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He is unborn, eternal, and ever existing. That is Sat Chit Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. Again, this shloka says that if just like how we put on garments every day, by giving up the old ones. So similarly, soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless bodies. And this is the nature of soul, that it can never be cut by any weapon, nor can be burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by wind. So here we see he counteracts that, compassion, because he's actually killing the body, not the soul. Then we see he talks about, no enjoyment. Okay, but he's like, if you flee away from this war, then your enemies, that is Duryodhana, they'll start making fun for you. And what could be more painful for a kshatriya? So he's like, you should not think about. And also, if you die in the battlefield, you'll attain heavenly planets, because whoever dies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra will surely attain the heavenly planets. Or if you conquer them, you'll be able to enjoy the earthly kingdom. So we see it's a win-win situation, that on either side he has having some kind of enjoyment only. So therefore, get up and fight with determination. Then he talks about sin. But when Krishna instructs him to do, it becomes a devotional act. And we see that in the path of devotional service, there is even a little advancement can save you from the greatest type of danger. So since it's a devotional act, you should not think about, incurring sin and all those things. Now, these two verses are one of the most important verses of Bhagavad Gita. What does it say is that this is the stage of stages of material fall. So first let me explain you with an example. So I think I have told you in the previous class also, when I was explaining this chapter, that let us say you have a new device. Okay, very good. Let us say one of your friends has iPhone. Okay, iPhone mobile. So now what happens is that when you look at that phone, you'll be like, oh wow, it's very nice. And your friend will show you all the features about the iPhone and all. So you'll start thinking about that device. Then a person will develop attachment for it. So you'll be like, okay, this phone is really good. Even if his parents buys him, why should I get one? I should also get one. Then this attachment becomes lust, means it becomes an intense desire that now I must have. If my friend has, why can't I have? But we see that this lust can, if it's fulfilled, then it will give you greed, that you want more and more. But if it's not fulfilled, it will cause anger will arise, that will be like to your parents, why you are not. Your parents know your situation, that if we buy you such type of fancy device, then you might uh, you might distract from your studies and all those things. So therefore your parents deny to buy you a phone. So we see anger develops. Then from anger, delusion. When you are very angry, you will be throwing things, throwing pillows and all. And then once you will be very angry, you'll be like bewilderment of memory. How can you understand is it? You'll be like your parent. In your mind, you'll be like, oh my God, see his parents. They are doing everything for him. My parents don't do anything for me. Even though they are providing you with food, so many things, proper clothes, education, and this very nice house, but still you will be like, no, my parents are not giving me anything. So that will cause bewilderment of memory. And once memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. You won't have that decision making power, that is it a right decision by my parents, or is it a wrong decision. So you will always think, so intelligence will be lost. So even if they try to convince you, you will be like, no, I can't. I want it, means I want it. And then we see one falls down again into the material pool. So that is, so see, as I told you, see how different stages of fall take. Okay, objects first, contemplating on the objects of senses, then attachment, lust, anger, delusion, bewilderment of memory, loss of intelligence, and finally fall into the material world. So, what is the takeaway message from chapter 2 is that we are not this body, we are the spirit soul, and soul moves from one body to the next body. As it just like how we pass different stages of our life, similarly, soul passes through different bodies. Now, let us. So, I hope you are able to understand. I'm going a little fast because we have to cover up all the 3 chapters, and along with that, I want to do some kind of. I want to show you one video as well. So, I hope you all are understanding. If you have any doubts, please ask because next to next Sunday we'll have our exam. We'll have quiz based on this. So if you are not understanding something, please ask. Okay. And anyways, it is not even in the terms of quiz. Rather, it's more important to understand these various things about Bhagavad Gita so that it can be helpful in your life as well. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. I hope you are understanding everything. Am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So I hope you all are understanding everything. If you have any doubts, please ask me. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Your voice was breaking in the before. Can you tell that word again?
Which one?
That before you were explaining something, no? Before this.
About chapter 2, right? The stages of Paul. This one.
No, the name of that chapter.
Okay, take away message.
Oh, okay.
So that is that we are not this body, we are the spirit souls. And the soul moves from one body to another body, just like how we pass through different stages of life. Before you are as a childhood, then we get when we come to our 20s, the youth age. Then we slowly come near towards 50s, and slowly we come towards old age. So just like how we pass, the body passes through different growths and developments and different stages of life. So similarly, the soul also passes through different bodies.
Yes,
That was about the takeaway message from chapter 2. Okay.
Mataji, I have one doubt regarding chapter 2.
Okay, yes, please ask.
Mataji, you said that the people who die in Kurukshetra will go to heaven, right? Then what's the use of Arjuna killing these people if they go to, heaven, even though they did all the sins on the earth and still they're going to heaven? Then what's the use of killing those people?
So see, is again we see if they remain on earth, they'll cause more heavy destruction. But even after they perform various kind of sins, we see that still they will go to heavenly planets because they died in the battlefield. So it's so after they go to heavenly planets, we see that they might become more religious, and they might start following the religious principles. So it's not like that. Rather, it's more important to banish, kill them so that they don't cause more havoc in earth.
Okay, Mataji.
And also considering things that there were some very good people also on the other side, like Bhishma, Dronacharya and all. They were all actually they could have come to Pandava side, but just because they were so much attached towards their vows and all, they were so much attached to their vows that they didn't leave the sides of Kauravas. So therefore we see if they would think properly, then see, actually sometimes for this is a very important thing. I'm which you need to know in your life, that sometimes for for keeping up with the higher principles, we might have to give up with the lower principles. Okay. So
Mataji, your voice is breaking. Can you repeat it again?
okay. So for if you want to keeping up with the higher principles, sometimes we need to give up with the lower principles. Let me give you an example. Okay. So we see that to kill various to kill Duryodhana, we see that actually while what they did is that they did a duel. Okay, that is a fight with that. They do Bhima and Duryodhana, they had a fight between each other, and in that fight, if according to the real principles, we see that it's not allowed to hit on the part below the waist, or the thigh area. Okay, it is not allowed to hit on the thigh, but to kill Duryodhana, we see that Bhima, who is a Pandava, he hit on the thigh of Duryodhana. So actually, it's not allowed according to the principles of fight, principles of the duel. But still, he did. But why did he do? So that he can kill Duryodhana, and and it was an order from Lord Krishna that you must do this. So therefore, to sometimes keep up with the higher principles, that is following the instructions of the Supreme Lord, you have to give up the lower principles. Okay, I hope you understood.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Okay, now let us start with the chapter 3 summary. So here Arjuna asked that what is more important to to engage, to what is more better, that is renunciation of work. And he's saying that you are giving me equivocal instructions, that you are saying that this way also and this way also, but tell me which is more fruitful, which way is more fruitful for me. Is it renunciation or work, or nishkam karma yoga, that is work without without attachment, detached work basically. So nishkam karma yoga, here we see Krishna talks about that. Krishna talks that how how nishkam karma yoga is better than renunciation, that by merely abstaining from work one cannot attain perfection. But the thing, and also the thing is that to maintain this body, one must have to one must perform his duties. He has to perform some kind of action, then only he can maintain his body. And according to the modes of his material nature, one cannot refrain from doing something even for a moment. Okay, the one who restrains from the sense of actions, but whose mind dwells on the sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender. So here we can see that again, this very important thing, that you should not generalize anything just because of few people. Okay, let us say few apples on a basket are not good. Okay, they are rotten apples. Okay, that doesn't mean all apples in the entire field will be rotten. It is just because few apples are rotten. So similarly, there are few kinds of sages, even in this, even especially in Kali Yuga, who are like pretenders. Okay, what they do is that they pretend themselves as if they are saints, but in their mind they are in their mind they are also like normal people. They also dwell on sense objects. Like you can see this photo, what it is explaining, that he has he has big beard and this all those things which makes like from external appearance he looks like a saint, but we see in his hand we also has cigarette and all. So that is not good. So that's what here they are saying, that one who pretends that he's restraining from senses, but at the same time he's like he is dwelling on sense object, he is certainly called a pretender. It's like, see, it's like some people nowadays, what they do is that they keep their book, okay, but so what your parents will be thinking that you are studying nicely, okay, but behind behind the book there will be a phone in which you'll be playing your games. So some people, nowadays there's some people do that, so that is certainly an example of how they pretend, they are pretending as if they are studying, but they are actually doing something else. So that is what they call pretender, or in Sanskrit it is called mithyachar. Okay, mithyachar. So perform your prescribed duty, because it's more important than not working or renouncing, because one cannot maintain his physical body without work, as I already told you. Now Krishna is telling how should work be performed. This is one of the most important slokas. Yagnathat karma nonyatra loko yam karma bandhana tatartham karma kaunteya mukta sangasya machara. That work should be done as a sacrifice for Lord Vishnu. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way, you'll always remain free from bondage. So here, Krishna is saying that you should do work as a sacrifice for Lord Vishnu. Otherwise, this work will cause more and more bondage to this material world. So whatever work you are doing, should do it. The results of that, or the fruits of the work, you can offer it to Lord Krishna, so that it will, it will become spiritualized. Do your duty in a detached mode, that knowing that you are a soul. So here, this is a very nice example. I think the sloka is skipped in the slide, so I'll explain it. That just like how lotus leaf is untouched by water, see lotus remains on water, but let me show you an image so that you'll be able to understand better. Let me. I hope you can see the image. Okay. So here what they are doing is, here what they're saying is that perform your duty just like how a lotus leaf is untouched by water. See, lotus leaf remains in the water, okay, but still it is untouched by water. Okay. So that's what Krishna is saying, that though you are in the material world, but perform your duties just like you are, you are not, you are not bounded by this material nature. Okay. You are performing as though you are performing activities, but perform your activities in such a way that they do not cause more and more bondage to this material, in this material world. Okay. So this is also talking about that how, as I explained, that by directly surrendering and getting association of pure devotees, we can reach the highest stage in very easy method, especially in this Kali Yuga, because for Bhakti Yoga you need to just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga, which is very easy to perform. Now this sloka also very important, cycle of sacrifice. Now what does this talk about? That see, grain comes from rain, okay. So see, how are grains produced? When rain comes, so when rain comes, water will be sufficient for the crops, so that they can produce more and more grains, okay. So now rain, how do you get rain? By performing prescribed duties. So by performing sacrifice, you can bring rain. Okay, why is there a lot of rain in this rain, especially in countries like our country India? Because there are many people who are religious enough that they perform various kind of religious activities, so that gives them that gives uh, sufficient rain all over India. So by sacrifice, rain comes. And how are these prescribed duties are mentioned in the Vedas? And who gave the Vedas? Vedas are spoken by Lord Krishna. He says that Vedesha sarver aham eva Veda, that I have spoken the Vedas, and from Vedas I am to be known. Okay, so therefore we see Vedas are spoken by Lord Krishna. So therefore this is the cycle. So therefore this grain we should offer to the Lord as, and then we should consume as prasadam. Okay, so that this cycle remains constant. Okay, so let us revise again that grain comes from rain comes from prescribed duties or sacrifices. Sacrifices are done as prescribed by the Vedas, and Vedas are spoken by the Lord. Therefore, the grain should be offered to Lord and then honored as prasadam. So one should perform activities in acts of sacrifice, and one who does not follow this certainly leads a life full of sin. Now, Nishkam Karma Yoga to set correct example. Okay. Now, this shloka talks about role model or ideals. Okay. Many people have, role models in their lives. Some people have different Bollywood actors and actresses as their role models. Some people have some sport people as their, role models. And some people might have businessmen or some other people in some other profession as their role models. Okay, so whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by his exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So therefore we see that whatever actions are performed by the great man, or who is an ideal for the society, are common men follow him. Okay, so therefore this also talks that you should be very careful about choosing your ideals or role models, because internally we don't know what kind of behavior or activities they might be performing. Okay, so therefore you must be very careful in choosing your role model, rather than choosing these materialistic people, like materialistic people like these Bollywood people or sport people. You can rather take saints or various acharyas in our lineage as your role models. Like we have Srila Prabhupada. You can follow the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. Then uh, our Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and there are various acharyas in our lineage who have performed great activities. So therefore you can take them as ideal and progress in your path of devotional service. So see, this is like one person. So it is just like how whatever great man performs, whatever he does, not whatever he speaks, whatever he does is spoken by him. Okay, so it's like just like a leader or a boss. Okay, he's telling to his people that you should. He's telling to his followers, please don't smoke. But he himself is smoking. Okay, so therefore now followers will be like, why should we do what you tell? We will do what you do. Okay, not what you say. Okay, so therefore a leader must be very careful about his actions, so that he doesn't misguide his followers. Okay. Now, this spirit soul is bewildered by influence of false ego, and he thinks he is the doer of activities, but But in actuality, it is all performed by the three modes of material nature. So here we can see how the three modes of material nature are controlling these people, just like how they are puppets in their hands, So sometimes people have wrong attitude, that I am always right, and you don't have any right to teach me. Okay, I am always always correct. That egoistic behavior is not recommended in as per Bhagavad Gita. We see Shukracharya stops Bali Maharaj due to ego, but we still see that Bali Maharaj surrenders unto Vaman Dev, and that is why we see he gets liberated. We'll also talk about this story, okay, if we get time. Now, therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works to me with full knowledge, without desire for profit, and with no claims of proprietorship, free from lethargy, fight. Now, this is one of the most important sections of this chapter, conquering the ultimate enemy, lust. Okay. Now, let us say people, now you think that I will perform according to the ideals of Bhagavad Gita, but you will be still remembering your previous habits or actions, oh, how I used to enjoy the things, Experience teaches that such immediate inspirations may prove difficult to other over time. So now Arjuna asking, being aware of reality, is asking that by what is one impelled to sinful activities unwillingly, as if engaged by force. Like sometimes you feel that you don't want to do this active action, but like see, there are many people, it's the people who smoke cigarette and all. If you ask them, okay, that I will give you, I'll give you some amount of money, okay, some huge amount of money if you write an essay about why should we quit smoking, okay. So they will ask, they'll write 15 to 20 benefits about smoking, okay. Now after he writes that articles and presents to you, okay, you might give him some amount of money, but the thing is that he will use that money again in buying cigarettes and smoking, okay. So that's what people are aware of, the disadvantages and everything, but still they are not able to leave. Why? So this is what Arjuna is asking, that even though they know that this is wrong, but you are impelled to do such sinful activities as if engaged by force. So there is one sloka which in between which says that it is because of the all devouring enemy, that is the lust, which is the greatest enemy of the mind, okay, greatest enemy of the soul, okay. So first we need to know that what is our enemy, okay. So we got to know that our enemy is lust, okay, which is born out of mode of passion, okay. Now to what degree can this enemy affect us, okay. Just like, see, there are 3 degrees of lust, okay. Just like how fire is covered by smoke, okay. The smoke is there, but it covers the fire, but the fire still continues, okay. It doesn't affect that much as such, okay. Just like how mirror is covered by dust, okay. When mirror is covered by dust, you can see your reflection, but it will be like, it will be blurry, okay, or it won't be as good, okay. So just like, see, fire in covered by smoke is, you can still see the fire, but a mirror covered by dust is like how you cannot you can see the thing, but it's blurry, okay. And the 3rd degree is just like how embryo is covered by the womb. Now when the baby is there in the mother's womb, you cannot at all see it, okay. It's not, you cannot see it. Of course, if you perform some x-ray and all, you can still see it, but I'm saying from outside you cannot see the baby, okay. So we see that there are 3 degrees of lust, okay. Just like how fire is covered by smoke, just like how mirror is covered by dust, and embryo is covered by the womb, there are 3 different degrees of this lust, okay. So now we got to know that to what extent can our enemy attack, okay. Now we need to know where this enemy lives, okay. He lives where does the enemy live? The enemy lives, that's what it either dwells in the senses, the mind, or intelligence. These are the sitting places of lust. It cannot, affect the soul, but it will affect all, it can affect everything else other than soul. Because soul is actually spiritual in nature. So it is not affected by any material modes of nature. Okay. But everything else, that is intelligence, minds, and the senses, can be, it can all be, uh, it can all be attacked by our enemy. Okay. And through them, the lust covers real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders it. Now, how do we conquer this lust? By using all our five senses in the service of Lord. We can use our eyes to see the beautiful form of Lord, nose to smell the tulsi leaves offered, tulsi leaves, or even flowers offered to Lord Krishna. We can use the tongue to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and even to honor Krishna Prasad. We can use our head to bow down to Lord Krishna. We can use our body to serve Krishna and our feet to walk to. We can use our feet to walk to the temple or walk around the temple and do circumambulation. Many people parikrama, as we say in Hindi or Sanskrit. So we can do circumambulation. Huh?
Prabhuji, you mean like production?
Pradakshina, yeah. Means it can be called Pradakshina as well. So, so just like that, we see we can use our feet in the service of Lord. Okay. Now, what is the takeaway message is that good deeds will cause good reactions, bad deeds will cause bad reactions. So, as you sow, shall you reap. All happiness and sadness in our life is due to our past activities or our karma. Okay. So this is the chapter talking all about Karma Yoga, as if the name only suggests Karma Yoga. So I hope you are able to understand all these things about the 3 chapters. Okay. So what do you think? Shall I end the class here or shall I show you the video and then we'll do that?
Prabhuji, you can show the video and end the class.
You can show the